Hello, hello. Oh, baby! Thank you! And I beat Frank. Hit that shit, bitch!
Hello.
How are you?
I'm okay.
It's another beautiful day if you only take a minute to appreciate it. Don't you hate it? Because it's not worth the time. Don't you think it's worth the rhyme to put together another lovely thing under this beautiful weather? And here we are together in the end. You are my Tobias Frank in the end. We are the friends of the completely inappropriate podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to throw in the jazz hands.
Jazz hands every time, yeah. So this is the completely inappropriate podcast, everybody. I'm Anthony along with Mr.
Frank.
And what the hell are we doing today, Frank? We only had one subject that you threw my way about something in Brazil going haymuck.
No, not Brazil. Cuba. I'm like, okay,
Oh,
we're gonna
shit.
Yeah,
Cuba. I looked up the wrong problem. I don't know. I saw something from like 1982.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm completely making that up. So apparently Cuba's got some shit going on. What else? You said Harley Quinn is no longer wanting to be Harley Quinn?
Yeah.
Which is fine because let's be honest, Kaylee Cuoco makes a much fucking sexier Harley Quinn.
Yeah, but that's animated though.
I know. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Is it good? It seems amazing.
Well, it's enjoyable. I don't know about good.
Oh, really?
It's enjoyable.
It's not on par with like the animated features that they do with Batman and shit. Dark Knight and Red Face and Red Skull, all that shit.
Yeah, because it's more aimed towards adults, probably teenagers, because of all the things that happen. Oh, I have a fucking.
Oh my God, relax, Jesus!
No!
Rage against the calm. Relax, bro.
I just remembered. There's this.
It's a pretty shirt you got.
No, there's this fucking. I want to say polemic, but that's because I'm fucking quadrilingual. But polemic.
Oh, are you? You're quadrilingual. Are what did your cat just try and climb your leg? Jesus Christ! Can you stay on focus for one moment?
I got a fucking cramp. No, because okay, so there's
how
something.
How do you get a cramp sitting down? You fucking out of shape crackhead.
I stretched my leg too far and I got a well too far back and I got a cramp.
Dude, you need to do better.
Okay.
just be better.
Uh-huh.
All right. So
anyways, so there's this thing a few weeks back that controversy, that's the word. There was this controversy that for the animated series Harley Quinn, they had to delete, they had to remove a scene of Batman going down on Harley Quinn.
Oh, that's some bullshit. That sounds like everybody's fucking perfect porno.
Yeah, because apparently it was fucking too inappropriate for HBO Max. Like that, it was borderline. What? It was borderline softcore porn, and then somebody showed a.
No, they were going back to late '90s, early 2000s, fucking HBO.
Yeah, you mean Cinemax?
No, HBO used to do it too. You don't remember like Taxi Cab Confessions and shit? Wasn't that on HBO?
Probably.
But whatever. HBO After Dark had like some skanky shit too. Wasn't as bad as Cinemax, but it was there.
Yeah, cool. So anyway, somebody showed a shot of the scene, right? And it didn't look that bad. It looked like it was, you know, not as
graphic.
Yeah, not as graphic. I was looking for another word, but yeah. And then somebody, I don't know if it was Instagram or I mean Facebook or Twitter, probably Twitter, somebody posted a scene from the comic books of Batman going down on Harley Quinn. And I'm like, okay, so
well, there you go. There's precedent.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, so then why?
It's not like they did it just for dramatic effect or just for the sensationalism. I mean, it probably was pulled out for that reason, but at least, as I said, there is some lead up to it.
Yeah. So that happened, but that's like that's it. That's all the discussion there is about it. Because yeah, that's why I didn't bring it up fucking forever ago. But that's what happened, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I don't if it's geared towards adults, I don't see why you would take it down. You know, because it's borderline fucking porn, softcore porn. Okay, well, have you
Yeah, that's
seen?
a piss poor excuse for HBO. It's probably just DC just was getting heat for it. They you know, they're still trying to be the family friendly. What DC needs to do is just absorb that whole fucking ideology and market of like the dark horse comics, you know, like that Dark Knight, like fucking gritty adult version, like Daredevil is, you know what I mean? Like Daredevil on Netflix was fucking aces. I haven't seen anything executed quite as well as far as a darker character. I don't know. Did you ever see the Iron Fist? How did that go in Luke Cage?
Yeah, I saw those, and I didn't get too into it. Oh, I
Yeah,
like
they seemed like they were trying to imitate too much of what came before them instead of trying to be their own thing.
yeah, but I mean, it was entertaining. I don't know if it was bad, but it was entertaining. I think that's what counts, you know.
Of
And
course.
yeah,
Yeah, you know
and
me. I appreciate everything I take the time to watch because I recognize the effort that went into producing this stuff. But I'm not. I don't know. I'm a little over all the. I'm a little over all the superhero nonsense. Like you know what I want to go back to is like Saved by the Bell.
oh, I thought you were gonna say go back to westerns when westerns were.
Westerns, no, I mean westerns would be good because at least there's a linear plot that starts and ends in the same little town. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, Grant, but then CW does that kind of shit and it's just like cheesy, like teenager novellas and shit. I'm
Mhm.
not a big, yeah, I can't deal with that either. Like I need a middle ground.
Well,
I
that's
need
what I
something
wanted.
that's adult.
That's what I wanted for Spider-Man. I wanted them to stop making Spider-Man movies and make it a fucking TV series of drama, like very fucking.
Hold on. Okay, so what I think is doing what I'm talking about perfectly.
Mhm.
Fucking Fear Street on Netflix.
My brother just brought it up, and I'm like, no,
Holy
I haven't
shit!
seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No, I
Oh
want
my
to see
god,
it,
dude.
but like,
So
I
we're taking little chunks out of part 3. Um, it is really good though. It's just nostalgic enough with like this short attention span culture that's developed in the last 5 to 10 years.
Mhm.
So like you get mini stories in a movie, like each part of this movie is a whole separate movie, like different killers, different victims, different storyline. Like, it's a different part of the same movie, so it's kind of working backwards in the trilogy. So there's no sequels, there's nothing but prequels, you know what I mean? Part 2 goes back, well, shit, I don't even remember, I watched them so quickly. So it's part 1 happens at some point, then part 2 happens later on, and then part 3 goes way back before part 1. So part 3 is a prequel, I guess. I think I got that right. If I got it wrong, hey, fuck you. We're not
Yeah,
experts.
the first one takes place in 1993, I think, and I think the third one, but one of them takes place in 1666.
Yeah, that's the last one. It's so far it's really entertaining, man. Um, I'm enjoying it. I enjoy it all. I don't know. Good stuff. I'm also getting it confused though, just now that I'm thinking about it with American Horror Story.
Yeah.
I'm finally going through the last one that came out where they're at the camp,
Uh-huh.
and it's very reminiscent of that kind of shit. So I think I'm hesitant to say it's a new age of horror, like the camp horror genre, but it really seems like it right now. Like I feel like it started with Babysitter, the Babysitter, and
Yeah.
then part 2, the Babysitter Queen of Scream or something. Do you know what I'm talking about
I
on
never saw
Netflix?
the babysitter because like I was
Bro, it's
interested.
so good. It's like I said, just so campy and just classically like comedic horror without like the comedy being over over the top too much. Goddamn, I got the hiccups.
Cool.
Oh, sorry. Just had lunch right before we fucking spoke. Actually, I was having lunch while we fucking started this, so excuse me. But yeah, man, I'm really appreciating what's being put out there right now because it's just right up my alley. This campy horror shit. What do you think?
So to complete the topic, fucking yeah, Margot Robbie quit because apparently the role is exhausting and that DC doesn't have a roadmap. Like they're just pulling that out their ass.
That's
like
true.
Lucasfilm.
They don't. It's not like Marvel where they seem to have planned it out for the next 20 fucking years.
And on top of that, in this specific interview where she says, "Yeah, I quit," the person interviewing her tells her, like, asks her what she thought about Zack Snyder killing her off screen, and she was like, "What? I didn't know that. Thanks for telling me." I'm like, "Oh
What?
my god."
Margot Robbie didn't know that?
Yeah. Like, what does that say when your own actors won't see your fucking movies?
I don't know. I don't know. Well, I mean, that happens a lot of this. Like Johnny Depp is notorious for never watching his own movies.
Oh, and I think, who was it? Kevin Costner's grandma, I think it was. Like she'll pay to see his movies. She'll sit down to see his movies, but as soon as he appears on screen, she leaves. Yeah, and the thought is that, okay, I saw my grandson, I'm leaving.
Yeah, well, that's how that goes. Some people just have weird little I mean, I don't listen to our podcast anymore. I used to be so excited the first like 6 months, but once you get tired of hearing yourself, you're like, well, yeah, I know what I think already. I don't
I
need to
was wondering
find
about that
out
because
about
I never got any feedback from you for the episode I did by my lonesome.
I don't think I ever listened to it.
I'm
I
sure you
might
never
have.
did.
Well, now I really want to, just because you asked.
Yeah, because I'm like, why isn't he telling me? Like, why isn't he getting after me for talking shit? I'm like, I don't think I talked shit.
Oh, I might have watched. I might have listened to it actually.
But you might perceive it as me talking shit, because I was by myself and I tried arguing with myself, like I assumed your responses and I mimicked you the worst I could, for
Yeah, that's probably why I ignored it. I mean, I don't know. I expect as much.
So yeah, I'm like, why isn't he fucking getting after me for talking so much shit? Like, I don't know. But yeah, that's probably why, because you never listened to it. But
sorry. I mean, do you have any idea how much shit I'm doing nowadays? So I've started this online yoga recovery group and nobody's hit me up this week for it. So I threw out some invitations, but I doubt anybody's gonna show up.
it's probably the timing. The time you're starting it, like at
3 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. Yeah, probably. But I also don't care. Like I'm doing it more for me. But I don't know, man. And then my yoga classes, like they fill up and then they die down and then nobody shows up for like 3 weeks and then all of a sudden it's busy again. Like there's no business in that. Like, so I'm doing that. And then this morning I was building a roof with my in-laws. Just manhandling fucking plywood sheets up to the roof to hammer down today. What else? What do I do? I bike ride exorbitant amounts. More than people like just rightfully should that have a 40-hour-a-week job. I have a second job where I do the second fucking phase of boot making. So I'm up to like 55-hour work weeks aside from the yoga classes that I teach, which is another 3 hours out of the week. And then working on the roof Saturday, Sunday, if I can, or vice versa, whatever, Sunday and Saturday, if I can. Got my grandma who's in the hospital this week. Did I tell you?
Yeah.
So she got up from going to the restroom and ended up falling down and hurting herself. So she ended up complaining of a bad back, and she's late stage Alzheimer's. So it's rare that she complains about anything hurting. So the fact that she's been complaining ever since. This was like Tuesday till now, which is a Sunday. She didn't get home till yesterday, and unfortunately, yesterday my son was fucking sick. Ended up waking up at 4:30 in the morning, fucking vomiting from bad pizza from this place we get pizza from. So it's been nothing but chaos and just constant moving. But now that I've fucking verbally vomited all of that bullshit, how has the Dairy Queen life been going for you and your familial pastimes?
It's going as I expected. Like in the interview that I had for Dairy Queen, I told the manager because he was talking about hours, right? And I told him, I'm like, well, in my last job, or rather in Pizza Hut, I was so reliable that I kept getting, like, I was borderline 40 hours a week, and the owner of the franchise would get after my manager saying, hey, stop paying him so much, don't give him any more hours. And he was like, well, the only one, like, I need him. And so
that
then
doesn't make sense. Were they giving you overtime?
well, it wasn't, I guess, yeah, technically it was overtime, but no, it's because they were paying me my 725 plus tips. But I think that's why they didn't add any extra cash, because I was getting tips.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah, and so then, like, they needed drivers, because the mentality of those drivers, or everyone there, was that, no, I'm off. Like, don't call me on my day off. I'm off. I'm not going in. And that's where I would take advantage and jump in there. And so then, yeah, I'm expecting history to repeat itself in that sense. And so when was it? I don't know, a few days ago. I was asked by the manager. She was like, hey, so you put on your application that you have an open schedule, right? And I'm like, yeah. And then the director, by the way, we got a new director, and she's annoying because she's fucking, anyways. So then she was telling me, she's like, oh, so you would do 40 hours a week? And I'm like, if you want me to, yeah. And so then after that,
Yeah,
I was
full
processing.
time.
Yeah, I was processing this whole, me working 40 hours a week. In my head, I was like, oh, so I'm getting paid this much. So with these many hours, I'll make this much minus government theft. I'll be making so much
Minus government theft.
yeah, and I'm like, fuck, I think I can
Hey,
do this.
your government theft is paying for my child's EBT credit. So thanks.
Yeah. So
have
anyway,
a child, you get the money back.
Yeah. So then, anyways, what happened? So yeah, it turns out that was their way of asking me to stay a few extra hours without asking me to stay a few extra hours. So then yesterday, as I clocked out, this one guy, because there was a crowd right there in the where I was punching out, and this one guy was like, yeah, he got extra hours too, because we're understaffed. I found out that Dairy Queen is understaffed. I'm like, oh, that's probably why they hired me. So then the manager was like, hey, can you come in fucking tomorrow? And I'm like, what time? Point is, yeah, I'm doing extra hours now. This time they did ask me. I'm like, oh, good. They were courteous enough to ask me. So yeah, I'm expecting to have no days off now, which I'm seeing it as
awesome,
as I am blessed to have this work ethic that has granted me
100%.
Yeah,
that's how my whole fucking, that's why I always wanted you to fucking come work for me at the factory, man, because I knew if we could get you through the door and realize that it's a decent position, it's not too difficult a job, it's a manageable fucking oversight and all this shit. I knew you would like it if we could just get you in the damn door, man.
Yeah, well, I'm not very coordinated, so my concern was fucking up the boots. And you were like, "No, it's okay. I fuck up boots too, and I just fucking throw them away or whatever."
No, yeah. Well, that's an overstatement, but it's not as serious as you think. Like, they expect you to, have some time to break in, But no, you're good, man. I'm happy that you found a job that seems to immediately appreciate the work ethic. That's fantastic, man. You don't get that a lot.
Yeah. So then, now that we're on me,
Oh,
this
move
July
up, daddy.
this July 18th marks 16 years that I didn't step on those yellow footprints.
Oh, that was 2 years, 2 days ago. But why? What yellow footprints?
The yellow footprints boot camp.
Oh, that's right. Why didn't you step on them again? Just
Because
remind
I
the
was
people.
on the last bus, which was an overflow bus. So then all the kids in front of me got to stand on the yellow footprints because they only have so many. And I was standing behind them without yellow footprints. And I'm like, oh, I don't get that privilege. So yeah.
Nope, you were never worth it from the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for your sadness, sir.
Yeah. So
I thought you were going to say that it's Mark's 2 years since we started this podcast.
no, that's on the 27th.
Is it the 27th? I thought it was the 17th,
No.
which would have been yesterday.
Yeah. So
Well, that's beautiful. So, should we do something special for the 2 year anniversary?
when the fuck does it fall? I think it falls during the week. Uh, yeah, it falls on a Tuesday.
All right.
Um,
So, we post early
yeah.
or late.
I don't know if you want. We can do fucking recaps and shit, but I don't know.
Recap on what?
Yeah, on the whole
Well, you
fucking.
know what? Moving on. This has gotten too personal. We've done enough housekeeping here. You wanted to talk about Brazil.
Cuba.
Yeah, that one. How they're like they're protesting because they can't get any food or medicine because and the fact that Trump put sanctions on the United States so that we can no longer send Cuban Americans can't send money back to Cuba. Yeah, so that seems to be it.
Well, I'm telling you that it's pretty cut and dry because the media was saying that it's due to Rona, that they're mad that there's not enough vaccines to go around, and I'm like, no. And so you do some digging and you find out, like, yes, the United States has sanctions on Cuba. They've always had sanctions, but they don't.
Sure, some sort of the other, but they never put sanctions on people being able to send
Yeah,
money back
they,
to their
they never
family.
restricted humanitarian aid. And
Right.
that's why right now on social media you got a lot of organizations or people gathering up supplies and sending them to Cuba, but Biden himself said that he doesn't know for sure if the people are going to get it because it's fucking communism. And so that's where it's cut and dry. I'm like, they're not protesting shortage because of Rona. They're protesting that they're sick and tired of fucking communism. Because the people of
Sure,
Cuba,
because it's who's it run by right now? 'Cause I mean, there's President Miguel Diaz Canal, but is there like a dictator above him?
so I think that's the president, and that that's the dictator. But yeah, I'm telling you that the Cuban people have the right to assemble. They have the right to protest, but they do not have the right to protest against the government. So right now they're being pretty fucking ballsy in protesting the government. And I'm like, good for them. Like it was a long time coming. So yeah, that's it. That's the
You're
whole.
always happy about anytime they protest the government, even if it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
You foolish fool. All right, so did you see President Miguel Diaz Canal? Did you see his fucking meeting room? Have you ever
No.
seen like oh my god, dude. You want to talk about DC and Marvel fucking universe. This dude's office, his boardroom, it's like okay, so you imagine like the top floor of a building that has no like it's completely open, there's no walls in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the pillars. So it's a big room like that with just one big table, and it's surround like all the pillars surrounding it are like completely covered or filled in with foliage, like it's a jungle.
Yeah.
So it's like this weird, like dystopian future kind of office where it's just one large wooden table, and fucking Mr. fucking Mr. Steal Your Girl, fucking Miguel Diaz, at this big wooden table, just surrounded by these massive trees and fucking brush and shit that they've put inside like the top floor of this fucking building with like pillars. It's crazy, dude. Like I'd actually ask you to Google it right now since you're looking at your computer. It's fucking crazy. He looks like a DC fucking bad guy.
Well, dictators are bad
No
guys.
opinion. Have you not looked at this guy? Well, he's not the dictator. He's the president.
Yeah, but he's the president. Just like Vladimir Putin, he's the fucking president, but he's still the fucking dictator.
All right, so Biden, president or dictator?
No, he's a president.
Trump, president or dictator?
President.
Okay, just checking, just trying to figure out where you're at. Miguel Diaz-Canel, president or dictator?
Dictator.
How? Why? What makes you say it? Do you know what you're talking about?
Yeah, because okay, to my understand, or from what I remember, this is the guy that Castro's brother passed the torch to, and it's been way more than 6 years since that happened, and he's still in fucking power. And so then this is a communist regime, therefore, you know, he's a dictator because he hasn't given power back to the people. He hasn't stepped down.
I don't know. I feel like you don't know enough about this to be saying what you're saying. So should we move on?
Well, that's what I'm saying. From what I remember.
Got you. We'll have to look this one up a little bit more. So what about did you know we pulled out of Afghanistan like super quickly? Like
I didn't see you there.
This? Huh?
I didn't see you there.
Well, we being the United States as a culture, as a human population, our population of humans have removed themselves from Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think about that? The immediate extraction of everybody, and what do you think?
I think it's about damn time, but at the same time, like, it's too late. You know,
what's too late? Well, Biden just got into office. Like, so is it too late for Biden or too late in general?
No, too late in general.
And how can you say it's too late in general when obviously, like, there's going to be a population of those persons that don't die now because they're not there? I mean, they might die of PTSD and killing themselves and shit, ODing, but what you can do about the people that would have died in service that are no longer going to, is that not a good thing?
No, I'm saying that the U.S. has been there for so long that the people of Afghanistan have grown dependent on their presence, essentially their fucking protection. And so then it's good that they pulled out, right? Because we get our troops home and we shouldn't have been there in the first place.
You don't knock anybody up.
And
always pull out.
And so then now whatever is left of Al Qaeda, the Taliban, whoever the fuck, they're gonna come and take over because there's nobody there. Like there was a time where they were infiltrating, right? And this was Iraq. So the Iraqi army would just abandon their posts. Like they'd hear that they're coming to fucking fight them, and they just abandon their post. And so then the terrorists coming in, they would acquire all this gear, all these vehicles. So they gave them that power. So it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like, you won't stand up for yourself, and that's giving these other guys more power. Therefore, when we leave, then you're stuck with your own demise.
Well, which is fine. I mean, that's what it should have been to begin with. Like, what were we doing in there? I mean, man, it's so frustrating, isn't it? This whole war.
I just don't believe that the U.S. should intervene in every fucking.
So I know I've asked this before, but if you had the chance to go back and make the decision whether to enlist or not, would you do it?
Yeah.
You wouldn't take it back?
No.
PTSD and all?
Yep.
Why?
Because, well, because
Duty.
the military. It's not a job. It's an experience, and
Oh, how profound of you.
no, because
How
everyone's
quotably,
career is
how
different.
quotably quotable.
So then, yeah. So then, for a time,
A
and
highly quotable quote, sir. Highly
yeah,
quotable
for
quote.
a time, and still to this day, like I'll tell you, I'll fucking go back to fucking combat. I'll do it for free. I just want to fucking be there.
Masochist.
Yeah, sure. I mean, probably.
Well, you're
Yeah.
not a sadist because you're not great at like torturing other people, but you seem to like to put yourself in positions where you're like mentally distraught.
Yeah. Yeah. And apparently, the reason why so many fucking veterans would like to go back is because with that sense of danger, you actually feel alive.
And control. Like you know what you
Yeah.
can control, you know what you
Sure.
can't. It's very straightforward, black and white decision making in lines. Like you either survive or you don't. Like there's
Yeah.
no looking back and feeling bad about your decisions when your decision ultimately leads to death or not death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so life is simple in the sense
That's the
that,
ultimate justification.
yeah, that all you have to do is just don't die, you know?
Bit of an oversimplification, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still wish I would have fucking joined up to something. I
Well,
don't
I
know.
think you could probably join the National Guard. It's $500 a month.
You can. I could make $500 a month. Ooh,
Yeah. You just show up on the weekends.
I should do that. But then if the shit goes south, then I gotta fucking.
No, they're not going to call you to go to combat. It's the
Why
National
wouldn't they
Guard.
call me? I'm amazing.
Because it's the National Guard.
So I only guard the
You're
nation.
you would be a step above
What if
ROTC.
like the MS-13 like show up at the Texas border? Then I'd be there.
Okay, there was a fucking incident where the
I
fucking
was
National
there.
Guard was on the fucking border and they gave up their fucking rifle to the Mexican police, the Mexican Marines. Like,
What?
yeah, like you don't fucking do that. On
Yeah,
top
no
of that,
shit. You
on
don't give
top
up your
of that,
weapon anyway.
on top of that, Mexico had to apologize because they thought that the National Guard had crossed into the Mexican territory, but no, it was the other way around. And still they gave up their fucking rifle, and I'm like, why? This is why nobody takes you serious. God damn it.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Poor training.
Yeah. Well, no, it's because they value their life more than anything because they're part timers. Like I said, you're a step above JROTC. Like that's it.
That's a cold-hearted.
It's true, and I'm gonna get a lot of fucking shit from fucking National Guardsmen listening, but I don't care. Like it's true. So shut up. Like this one chick was talking about how was telling my friend Alyssa that she has girlfriends that are in the National Guard that they do it for fun and that it because it's an extra paycheck and they don't take their job as serious as these fucking National Guardsmen that Alyssa meets in her fucking job at the hotel she works at. And I'm like, yeah, see, I'm fucking telling you. But no, she's so fucking gung ho about fucking supporting the fucking people nobody takes serious. But whatever. I'm gonna tell her about this episode. I'm like, man, you should listen. I talked so much shit about the National Guard.
Yeah, no shit. You're going so hard on these guys.
No,
Like,
but it's true. Look, we can even have Chance on fucking sometime later on, and fucking he'll tell you. Yeah.
All right, what about the Army Reserve? What about the Reserve?
It's the same thing.
Is it though?
The difference is that the Army Reserve, they actually have some combat experience. Like, sure, there are some people in the National Guard that like
Hey,
very
bro,
few that have
a lot
combat
of the people
experience.
I've seen in the Army Reserve are in better shape than some of the people in the fucking Army by the time they get out.
Yeah,
What's up with that?
it's the Army. Like, I shit you not.
Is there a version of the Marine Reserves?
No, yeah, we do have a reserve, but it's not as bad as fucking the Army. But anyways,
Interesting.
no, I shit you not. I was in fucking Ramadi, and there were these these soldiers on remedial PT, and some of them were fatter than I currently am. One of them was twice as big as me. And I'm like, how the fuck do you get that way being active service? Like, what the fuck?
Active being a very loose term, evidently.
No, active because you're active. You've been activated.
Motherfucker, I understand. I was making a joke, you asshole. Anyway, are we done with this episode? Is this the end of the line?
Yeah.
How long have we been going? Have you checked the time?
About 30 minutes, more or less.
30 minutes. Is that all? Well, what else do we got to talk about? What else has been going on?
Oh, well, there is the whole Loki thing, but you haven't finished it.
I have not finished it. I just haven't finished it.
And I'm thinking that if I tell you what I'm gonna share, that might get you to finish watching the season.
I'll finish watching the goddamn thing. I am so tired all the time. And then I got a baby on the way. So my wife's got morning sickness at like 4 a.m. every morning until like 10 a.m. So, I mean, I'm up by 4:30, 4:50 anyway, but just that extra 15, 20 minutes is kicking my ass a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm a creature of habit. And when my habit is disturbed, c'est la vie, man. Mm-hmm. Just got to have me a little baby Francisco coming out.
Okay.
Actually, we're the Magicians fans. Have you ever seen The Magicians? No, right?
Nope.
No, you should watch it just for me.
I've been told that, yes.
So I'm reading the books now, and the books are completely different. Very, very good books. But anyway, the main character's name is Quentin Coldwater, and I think I've convinced the wife that we're going to name our son, if it's a boy, Quentin, and if it's a girl, Margot.
Okay.
Middle names to be determined. So vote, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think? Margot and Quentin. For boys and girls, we'll put up a little bar on Instagram. I'll make sure Frank puts up that little...
I don't know how to do that shit.
You lazy son of a motherless goat. It's not that complicated. Go to the little plus sign in the corner. Go to post. Or no, go to story.
I think you have to have so many followers to do that.
No, you foolish fool.
No, because I tried.
Anybody could do it. Anybody could do it. Anybody could do it. I'm going to punch you in the face. I'll do it myself. So we'll have that up for you guys to vote how much you like it. It'll be like that little sliding bar that says, like, do you like it this much, all the way to the big smiley face with the hearts on it. All right. So, Frank, anything else you want to talk about before I annoyingly cut you off?
Oh, that's it.
All right. Well, this has been another episode of the Completely Inappropriate Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I have been Anthony, along with Mr.
Frank.
And I have no idea how much longer we're going to be doing this, but hopefully not fucking much longer. Frank, what do we tell the people, or where can they find us? What do you want to tell them?
They can find us here. They can find us anywhere. They can find us wherever they listen to podcasts. Also, if you're on Instagram, you can find us under CI Podcast. If you're on Twitter, you can find us under Completely In-App. I try posting on Twitter, but, shit happens. So, yeah.
All right. Well, this is us, Frank. What do we tell the lovely listeners?
Be excellent to each other.
Try to find your happy people. Try to be better today than you were yesterday. Much love. Peace to you. Take it easy. Frankie comes from his mom. He's a wise guy. Frank just... Go. I did it first.